National Telecommunication Regulatory Commission was created in 2000. So we are about to celebrate our 10th anniversary, and that's why I'm here to speak about the 10th anniversary. We do have a series of activities, and on Friday we will have an award ceremony, which will be held to basically recognize the efforts of many of the persons who created it in the first place and who supported its development over the years. I must indicate to you very clearly that the NTRC came out of one Act of Parliament, Act number 31 of 2000. It followed on the heels of Act number 30 of 2000, which created the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunication Authority, to look at the whole regulatory apparatus for telecommunications in the country. So with the NTRC and the ECTEL, that comprise the telecommunication regime in the OECS countries. Well, we need to go back to maybe 1998 when we had a single provider for telecommunication services, monopoly provider, Cable and Wireless, and it was deemed at that time that the economies of the OECS, in particular, OECS countries, they were under some significant stress, and we felt that the diversification of those economies would have been in the best interest of the people. One of the aspects of diversification were the reform in telecommunication. Liberalization of the telecommunication sector was seen as a key issue. You will recall at that time there was the demise of the banana situation, and many of the export products that we had, agricultural products, were going through a significant decline. So we felt that the services sector needed to push the economy, and as a result, to break the back of the monopoly was seen at that time as essential to get in the services sector on that path. And the countries of the OECS embarked on telecommunication reform from 1998, and successfully did so with the promulgation of new telecommunication regulations in 2000, which created ECTEL and the NTRCs, and hence the reason why we have many other players now in the market. So you ask, what are the developments over the years? We have many players in the market now. Matter of fact, in Grenada in particular, we do have 5 licensed operators. 4 are actually providing services now to the people. Back then we had 1. Back then the situation was such that Cable and Wireless controlled basically the telecommunications landscape in the country, to the extent, and legally so, to the extent that if, for instance, a student in one of the secondary schools had to do a small project which involved spectrum, they may have been treading on some of the territories that were given to Cable and Wireless. So all these were broken, and new players came into the market, and as a result of that, the market has transformed significantly. You will recall now that, for instance, mobile telephony, you will see people with handsets all over the place. I mean, this is something which was unheard of and unseen 10 years ago. Now we have more telephones, more subscribers, mobile subscribers than we have persons in the country. So this is a significant change. Many other things have happened, but
not only that, the cost of fallen drastically. I remember there are lots of people who would like to refer, maybe I'm one of those people to refer to Cable and Wireless in those days as pirates, as Columbus, you know, they just wreaked havoc on people because they were in charge, you know, no competition, so you do as you feel. I mean, used to pay $5, $6 to call my brothers in England. I mean, you wait on the weekend, sometimes you might get a little thing on the weekend. But, I mean, that was heartless. That was really not good. That was hard for people to contend with. And today I'm calling America, I'm calling England, and 89 cents, not even $1, you know. And that's one of the significant good things that have happened because of the initiation of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. And there's so much other things you talked about the handset, but the cost of the service That's key.
Well, I think everything has its time. Cable and wireless at one point must have been, the monopoly situation may have been right at some point. Well, let me say that we were successfully able to deal with the situation and create a better atmosphere in terms of telecommunications in the country. After having cable and wireless negotiate with the countries to ensure that we have more players into the market, and as a consequence, a lot of good things have happened.
And even today, from 6 or 5 dropped all the way down $1, some cents, we can say, and you see people are still talking and clamoring for the price cap. People are still thinking that, hey, it's still a little too high, you know, especially for the users of the cellular phones, you know. Yeah,
well, again, I mean, we could always do better because there are international benchmarks that you can measure yourself against. So you will need to always work at it, and that's the reason why we have a National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission and ECTEL to continuously work for the people. The issue is we have to look at cable and wireless and other players in the market and the relationship between the consumers and the operators. The NTRC is there to ensure that the consumers are protected.
What about the price cap and any possibility of you know, costs being lowered?
Well, the price cap is basically a mechanism that has been used to regulate the dominant provider. In our case, cable and wireless, for services where they still maintain a certain amount of monopoly, and that is in the fixed line service. So they are the only fixed line operator, and as such there is a price cap regime which tends to regulate the prices of those services from that fixed line, because there is still a monopoly situation. So that is where the price cap is. And there is what you call interconnection, that is the rate between the operators themselves. So the NTRC will be monitoring and setting those interconnection prices, making sure that they are fair, so that the prices to the consumers are fair prices. You see, there is also the issue that we have to ensure fairness across the board. Not only fairness for the consumers, but we have to also ensure that there is fairness between operators. That there is a level playing field between operators. But we also have to ensure that the operators themselves are viable. So we cannot regulate them out of existence. So in other words, we need to do this balancing act. Make sure that the government gets its appropriate revenue. Make sure that the consumers are protected with high quality service, better prices, more choices, better options, and so on, to ensure that there is training and capacity building. But we also have to ensure that there is a level playing field between the operators and that the operators themselves are viable.
In preparing that level playing field, you're going to celebrate your 10 years of existence, your 10th anniversary. Any issues you would have dealt with as you tried to bring the entities, the providers on board, in line?
Well, let me say we could go back to the early days when we tried to liberalize the market. We had a very, what I might call, acrimonious relationship between the dominant provider then and the governments. And again, I mean, we had situations with the unions, for instance, where people were afraid of job losses and all kinds of issues like that came to the fore. What are we going to do? Whether that the operators even threatened to leave the country and so on. So there were that kind of dynamics at that point in time, which were carefully managed over time. In some of the countries in the region, it went to the court and have been solved in the court. Fortunately, we did not get to the court, but we had some serious negotiations at that time. Again, that graduated to a different mechanism later on. Once the laws were passed and people got settled into a situation, we had to make sure that as I indicated, that the playing field is level. and to make sure that all disputes between operators are settled. They will have interconnection disputes. We'll have to make sure that we mediate those disputes and to ensure that fairness is a hallmark of the regulatory environment. So that is some of the things that we have been doing. The price cap, as we indicated again, has been a very you have to negotiate very much with the dominant operator to make sure that the price cap is fair, and so on. So there are a lot of things that we have to do to maintain the integrity of the industry.
Can you in any way, I wouldn't say bring pressure, but negotiate with the providers? Some people are saying the cell phones in particular, the costs are high. You know, one call might be, like one call to the United States might be 85 cents, 90 cents. Locally it would be cheaper, and people are thinking that it can be reduced.
Right. Well, as I said, everything is relative and everything takes time. Got to work on it, and we have to balance all the forces together. We just cannot say the prices are too high without having the evidence that the prices are too high. What is the basis of saying that the prices are too high? As I said, there are international benchmarks. Of course, you have to look at that. But they have international benchmarks where we will measure the prices against.
Right.
But again, you have to measure the price against the cost of providing the service. And we have to do those work, and we make sure that we're fair to the operator. So we cannot always indicate just like this that the price is too low or the price is too high. We have to do the work to find out exactly what is the range of prices that will be fair.
Playing field level.
And again, over time, you will find that as things develop, as new services come to the market, new players into the market, new developments, new technology, you will find that this will drive the prices to the point where it is reasonable for everyone.
Now, tell me about your anniversary celebrations. It's a week or a month? Or
well, we have several activities that have been planned over there was a broadcasters symposium which was part of this. We will also be launching the Universal Service Fund. And again, this is one of the key issues, and then we have culminating with an award ceremony where we will award some of the persons, as I indicated, who have went beyond the call of duty to make sure that this body is established and sustainable.
How important is this industry?
Very important. It's very important. The issue is, as we drive the prices down, as we create more options for persons, as we have more investment in the economy, the important is that this industry must be able to increase the productivity of other sectors of the economy. So you should be more productive in agriculture, more productive in tourism as a result of utilizing applications and services, telecommunication applications and services. We have the internet, for instance, and this is one of the areas that we are not very happy with at this point in time, because our penetration rate on the internet is about 13%, which is very low. Right. We have 110, 112% penetration on mobile telephony, but the internet is very low. So we need to propel this further. We have the Universal Service Fund, which we are launching, and we received several proposals from operators and entrepreneurs to help the fund move forward, and most of them proposals were in the area of broadband infrastructure for the internet. So we hope by the next year or two we will have a very high rate of internet penetration in the country. But it's not only having the phone and having the internet is issue, it's the use that have been made, that is made from having these equipment. It must be for productive purposes, and it must be entwined into the economy and to ensure that it increases efficiency and productivity.
What will 20 or 25% internet penetration do for a country?
Yes, well, I mean, again, we want to show that, like, it will ensure that the productivity of the country improve. People are able to use the internet to display their own wares, to sell their products online, to ensure that they have foreign exchange earnings, you know, all these kinds of stuff. Because if you use the internet and use it properly, you can then be able to put your wares, what you have produced, local produce, out in the international market. and that will assist in moving the foreign exchange in the right direction, we think. So the internet is seen as critical for the development of the human potential in the countries, and as a result, get it entwined into the productivity of the nation.